Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight. I am Peter, that is Tim.
Yep. What up?
One day Tim will expect that he's supposed to say hello and just say hello, and not give us the 5 seconds of like, what's happening? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Damn it! Come on. Anyway, so yeah, this is the third of three or four news specials that we're doing this month for the Octoberthon. Usually the news is attached to the movie every week, but during the Octoberthon, it's a separate little episode with some additional talk about what we've been watching recently. Although I'm ashamed to admit that for the second week in a row, I have nothing to talk about. Again, watching a lot for review. Didn't have a lot of time for other movies.
Well, I think some people would make time, but sure.
I had one night all planned out for it. Friday night, I was going to watch 2 or 3 movies. It was going to be great. I ended up playing video games all night. Look.
Were they at least horror video games?
One of them was. Last of Us was. So.
No, Last of Us is not a horror game.
How is Last of Us not a horror game? You're sneaking around as clickery monsters are coming to hunt for you and kill you in one hit in the dark. How is that not horror?
I don't know, some bullshit. Like sci-fi stuff.
Last of Us is a goddamn horror game and you know it. And played a bit of dangerous golf. I mean...
Dangerous golf. Okay.
That's a horror to golfers everywhere.
Sure. I started playing a horror game. I haven't gotten too far. I just started the other night, but I was playing the Man of Medan.
Oh right, whatever. yeah. The from the creators of Until Dawn. It's it's just the story game where you're just making choices and whatnot. Yeah.
It's okay so far. Again, I'm not super far, but let's see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. I get a little frustrated with those games that are just choose your own adventure sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think I think it's fun every now and again. It's like the Telltale stuff. I like those at first, but then it just got to be like too many, at once. Like when it's a game you play every couple of years, it's fine. When it's something where it's like every, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, there's like a new chapter or something, it's like gets a little boring and repetitive.
Yeah. I'll ever played the first few chapters of season 1 of The Walking Dead. I never got any further than that.
Played the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. I played the Fables one. I think I did both seasons of Batman, Guardians. I actually played quite a bit, but yeah, they're not great.
We're not here to talk about those though. Or horror games in general. We're here to talk about horror movie news, and we will start off not with Halloween news. We finally ran out of things to talk about on a weekly basis about the new Halloween movie. So Halloween Kills will return to the news show when there's news to report. But until then,
we're not going to talk about like that photo that Jamie Lee Curtis posted or whatever.
Did she post a photo? Is it a scoop? Is there a scoop, Tim?
I don't know. I think like a lot of people were like getting excited about it, but like all it was her like posting a photo being like, hey, like, on set shooting. And people were like, oh, that's, the first photo of her back in character. But it's like, who cares?
Tim, I have standards, okay? Standards. Which is why I'm delighted to tell you the first news item of the day, of the week, even. First news item is a special news item. Glorious news.
If this is the one I'm thinking of, I'm very excited.
It's about a delay, Tim. Do you like delays?
Oh, okay. No, never mind.
Because the already delayed... This is starting to... It's funny we start with video games, because video games these days are known for being delayed like 10 times before they finally come out. But Brahms, The Boy 2, has been delayed yet again. It was meant to come out in September. Obviously, it missed that date. It was meant to come out then in December, but has just this week been pushed back to February 21st, 2020. No longer 2019, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you seem so cheeky about it, like it's a bad thing. But to me, this just says, hey, We're taking our time with it. We want to make sure we're doing it right. We don't want to rush anything. And yeah, there's no use to kind of just dump it, in December.
Now, okay,
Let's give it a proper release in February.
first of all, they've already shot it, right? And
Mhm.
you're talking about this like it as a video game where they're actively like still working on the main part of it and trying to make it better and bug free and whatever. Here's the
They
thing,
might
Tim.
be.
Here's the thing. What was the last horror movie I remember that was delayed from like a sort of October, September time to about February? Do you know what that movie was, Tim? It was Rings. And did that movie benefit from the delay? I think not. It's a sign. It's a bad sign that something is wrong and you know it. You know
No,
it in your
no,
blood to be true.
no. I think it's a sign of, hey, we've been getting like some good, horror February releases, the last couple of years. Wasn't Us in February this year?
Get Out was when that came out. I don't know if ours was
Yeah,
maybe a little bit later, but yeah.
maybe it was March or something. But I mean, I think February is kind of becoming the new horror hotspot, so they wanted to capitalize on that. You get some more eyes on it, versus releasing in December where people, are going to be going to see your Star Warses, your Black Christmases, or whatever. Like, there's no need to, have another good movie get lost in the shuffle. So yeah, release it in February, which is,
Another good movie lost in the shuffle. Uh huh.
I don't know,
Uh huh.
this is good news to me. And at the heart of it, the boy was kind of a love story. So why not release it in the love month, right?
Whatever lets you sleep easy at night, Timmy. All I know is that I don't have to see this stupid movie now for at least another 2 months, so I'm happier.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, you've just instantly, uh, invalidated yourself as a film critic because you're prejudging something before it's even come out. So no one's gonna even be able to take your review seriously. So good job.
I'm sorry. People aren't allowed to have opinions on sequels coming out to movies they already thought were shit. Come on now.
You must remain objective, or else I will invalidate your score when you review it.
Oh, I'll remain objective. I'll remain objective on your face.
Okay.
I don't know what that means either. Just go with it. See, I'm dying. I'm dying because the boy's shit. All right. Next up. Just 1 minute, Cat. Let me just start this story. Get Tim talking. I'll come over and get you. There's been so Evil Dead. Evil Dead's a franchise that, of course, is well loved by fans. This isn't like big news. This is one of these things where sometimes actors say things or people say things in interviews, and it might not really lead to much. But just this week, Bruce Campbell did actually say that he and Raimi and whoever else have actually picked a filmmaker.
Taper, probably.
Probably, yeah. Have picked a filmmaker for the next Evil Dead movie, whatever it may be. I mean, right now we don't know if it's going to be a reboot, a sequel to the reboot, a sequel to the original series. We do know that Bruce Campbell, at least as of right now, is still officially retired from playing Ash, at least in live action. I mean, I think he's doing like a video game voiceover at one point, but he said that Ash vs Evil Dead was his farewell to the character and playing him. No reason to suspect that is false, or that he's changed his mind. But yeah, apparently they have a premise and they've got a filmmaker that Raimi has chosen. So that is what we've heard. But I mean, it sounds like it's not going to be Fede Alvarez again, who like made the reboot, which I really liked. I'd love a sequel to that. Yeah. But they seem to be going a different way. I imagine if they're going to do something different, I feel like they're probably going to do something more jokey again, just because the reboot was so like hard horror, like. And gruesome. I feel like what they're probably going to do then is try and go more Evil Dead 2 with the next one if they're going to do something different. But that's my guess.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. Yeah, it's hard to, get super excited when, you're kind of figuring, well, Ash probably won't be back, and Sam Raimi's not actually directing, and they're probably not bringing back Alvarez. But I mean, hey, more Evil Dead I will take in any way, shape, or form I can get it. So, even if Raimi's not directing, I'm sure he'll be like pretty heavily involved in stuff. And hey, he seems to have like a good eye for like other directors and stuff when he produces stuff or like picks other projects or whatever. So I don't know. I'm excited, even though we don't really know much yet.
I'll be honest, I don't really want Sam Raimi to direct. I've discovered something
Mm.
recently, Tim, that Sam Raimi's not a good director outside of the Evil Dead movies. So
You're wrong, but sure.
I'm not wrong. The Gift
No,
sucked. Drag Me
no,
to Hell's not good.
no. Drag Me to Hell rules.
No,
So
no, no, no,
you're
no.
already wrong.
What else? I mean, Darkman wasn't too bad. Darkman's watchable.
Darkman's fine. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 all rule.
Nah, they've all dated badly. They've all dated
No,
badly.
no, you're so stupid. Who lets you speak into a microphone? Illegal.
I mean, Spider-Man 2 has good action scenes, but other than that, like,
Quick and the Dead rules.
I've not seen that, to be fair. I can't comment.
It's great. No, Sam Raimi's still great.
Oh, Oz the Great and the Powerful, you sticking up for that one? You hack.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's fine.
You don't need to see it. It's a stupid remake of Army of Darkness. It's the exact same plot.
I mean, again, unlike you, I will wait till I see a movie before I judge it. But I mean, fine. You do you. That's cool.
Oh dear, oh dear. I'm a little concerned, Tim, that my volume's a little bit too loud, and I'm just
Yeah, just go ahead and mute yourself then.
You shut your
the
face.
rest.
You shut your face. To the other side. Device properties. Oh no, we're fine. Okay. I was a little concerned. And I didn't trust you to notice the difference.
Averted.
I didn't trust you to notice the difference and tell me that something was wrong, so I had to check for myself.
I'd have to listen to you to do that.
You're the worst. Alright. Next up, speaking of Sam Raimi though, and his poor directing.
No.
So he's going to direct a new horror film
Yeah.
for Columbia Pictures, and it's coming from the writers that did Freddy vs. Jason and the Friday the 13th reboot of all things. Damien Shannon and Mark Swift are the writers on this. So the only description we have of it right now, plot-wise, is that it's been described as Misery meets Castaway.
This is fantastic. I officially give this my news item of the week. I'm super excited for this. Again,
Is this a new thing? Is this a new award you're going to give out every week?
Yeah. I've been doing it all the past weeks. I just haven't been telling you. So, no, this is fantastic. Sam Raimi rules. So glad to see him doing another horror picture again. I still really want a sequel to Drag Me to Hell, but for now, this is great. And, hey, Castaway meets Misery, that sounds like a winning combination to me. So I am fully on board for this. What the hell does that mean?
It means you're jacking Rami off right now. That's what it means.
Well, I mean, the man's a great director. I'm sure he could use some relief.
He's stressed, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're there to relieve Sam Raimi of his stress.
Yeah, as we all know from Green Inferno, the best way when you're in a tense situation is to relieve yourself.
I'm going to be eaten by cannibals. I think I'll knock one out. Just now's the time for it. Now's the time. I'm in the mood for some reason. Jeez. All right. Next up. Right. Next up. So Robert Eggers, of course, has just recently done The Lighthouse, and of course did The Witch. His next film is now in the works. Although I'm a little disappointed because there was talk of doing a Nosferatu before The Lighthouse, and I was hoping he would go straight on to that after The Lighthouse, but that does not appear to be the case. But he is going to do something called The Northman. Or The Northman, if I have to say it properly. Oh, one word. And it's been described as a Viking revenge tale, and the cast who's in the talks for this right now includes Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch, of course, Bill Skarsgård, and Willem Dafoe, who's in The Lighthouse, obviously. So, interesting list of people.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds super exciting to me. I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet. I really want to see it. It is playing around here, but it's like kind of far, and I haven't had a ton of time lately, but I will try to go see it soonish. And then, he seems like a dude that knows what he's doing. Um, like I'm interested to see what I think of the Lighthouse, but it seems like even maybe if you don't like it, like you still got to appreciate the kind of style he brings to everything, and yeah, and it is cool that it seems like he's making stuff that's not like super mainstream, like it he's getting like recognition for this stuff, so it seems like someone could easily scoop him up to do whatever dumb big Hollywood project, but it seems like he's just making like the shit that he wants to do, which is cool.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for Saw 9, directed by Robert Eggers. Now, so Deadline at the most we have of a description right now is the film is described as a Viking revenge saga set in Iceland at the turn of the 10th century. Eggers penned the screenplay with Icelandic poet and novelist Sjón. I'm gonna guess that's SJ with a little accent and an N. Sjón. I'm gonna guess that's pronounced.
Cool. Hey, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm in. So we'll see. But that's the next thing. I wonder if he's saving Nosferatu, because like, see when no one wants to pay him to make a movie anymore, he can whip out Nosferatu and they'll be like, yeah, you know what, people want to see Nosferatu by you, so we'll pay you for that.
And yeah, I think I heard something somewhere that like one of the reasons why he did The Lighthouse next is because he thought that he might never have the chance to do it again. Because it's like so crazy. So maybe Nosferatu is like a little bit more marketable, that he figures he can save that until people like stop wanting to make his crazy stuff or something.
Yeah. Actors seem to want to work with him though. He's getting some interesting names in there, so
definitely.
It's cool. So we know that Zoe Lister-Jones is writing and directing a new version of The Craft from 1996, which it's coming from Blumhouse because they do everything now. But it does mean that we have a reason to do the original on Screams when we get close to the remake. But the news this week is that David Duchovny has joined the cast list. So
nice.
The truth is out there. But you'll never find it, at least not in 10 seasons in a movie. Or 2 movies even. So yeah, that's the there's no new news on the plot or whatever. I mean, it says the same blurb that we had before, but the original had this in it. What does the remake have? We don't know. Probably the same thing, but with cell phones. So
that's cool.
I don't remember enjoying it, but I will reserve my thoughts until we watch it again for the show.
With the original?
Yeah, the original, yeah.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
Yeah. So this is Blumhouse and Columbia, which is interesting because Blumhouse, I feel more often than not, actually works with Universal. So interesting they're doing one. Well, I guess Columbia probably owns The Craft. That's probably why. That makes sense.
Yeah. That'd probably be it.
Like you know things. Don't sit there and act like I don't know things. Anyway, final thing in the news this week. It's a quicker batch of news, not as much this week. So again, this is one of these things where an actor said something in an interview, like, will it be true? It's not that I don't trust Danielle Harris, right? So we have no Halloween news this week, but we do have a former star of some Halloween sequels. Danielle Harris, of course, was in the Hatchet franchise. After the first film, she took over the lead role, replaced whoever was in the first one, and she was in 2 and 3 as the main character, and she had a cameo in the 4th one, Victor Crowley. At a convention this week, she was talking about the potential of more sequels from Adam Green, the director of these movies, and she said that there's supposed to be 2 more, and that she even thinks they might shoot back to back. So there's a possible Hatchet 5 and 6 in the works, which I have to, you know what, like, I don't hate those movies, that are perfectly watchable and forgettable, but the thought of there being a 5th and 6th one is baffling to me. Do people like Hatchet enough for a 5th and a 6th one?
I mean, I'm assuming it's probably like a cheap enough movie to make, and then it has enough of a name that it makes some money. But
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't see it as being like a hugely widely popular thing. But I don't know, they're fun enough. I think when we reviewed them, I think the big problem we have with them is just it gets very like samey after a while. Like the kills are cool, but it's like always like the same location, and everything. So if they do, some new ones, it would be cool if they maybe get a little more variety or something. Make at least something to stand out about it.
Yeah, the fourth one at least had the whole plane thing. I mean, they were still
Yeah,
in the swamp, but it gave it something different to make it feel
yeah.
unique amongst the other ones. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we'll see it. We'll talk about them if they happen. But uh, the two more back to back culmination of of the Hatchet franchise. Oh well. So that'll take us out of the part of this episode where we'll talk about what we've been watching. But as I said, I have not had time this week. Next week's the last time we'll do this. I will endeavour to make sure I've got a few movies to talk about. But Tim, you've been watching stuff, so you can tell us, and I will judge.
Um, this week I've been doing a lot of
Double features.
like double features. Yeah,
I read your tweet. I know you were going with that sentence.
and not really and not really on purpose too. Funny enough, it was just more like, oh, I have this movie that I never watched the Blu-ray of, but oh, I should probably watch the first one first, or oh, I want to watch this with my wife, but she hasn't seen the first one either. So like, um, a lot of stuff like that. Let's start with I watched Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, and Bordello of Blood. So Demon Knight, I mentioned before that I absolutely love that movie, and it still holds up. It's a super ton of fun. It's like a Halloween staple for me. I do recommend everyone check that out around this time of year. But Bordello of Blood I haven't seen in like a real long time, and I remember not liking it that much as a kid. So I was like, yeah, I'll give this another shot this year. And surprisingly enough, I thought it was pretty fun. It's not as good as Demon Knight. It is like super sleazy and cheesy, but in a fun way. There's enough there that you kind of laugh at, and it's an easy enough watch. So I think as a kid I wasn't that into it because it's like there's like a lot of like it's very sexual and like I loved watching horror movies growing up, but whenever there was too much sex stuff, I was always like, I probably shouldn't be watching this. And even as an adult, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't be watching this. But
Just get an erection like a normal person and stop whining. Jeez.
never, I refuse. um, but no, Bordello of Blood. Sorry, I was looking at the next movie on here.
Bornello of Brood. Bornello of Blade. The Bruno of Blade.
If anyone watches on cinema, I turn into like Tim Heidecker for a second. So I was mispronouncing stuff. But then I also did the first two Candyman movies. So obviously we're going to be doing those movies when we get closer to the reboot, remake, whatever they're doing.
In fact, even the Tales from the Crypt movies we should do relatively soon because we finished the show. We should probably get to those.
Sure. Yeah, I think it was one of those things where we were planning to do that, and then just everything gets so busy, like so many new movies all the time. But no, the first Candyman I still think is really good, holds up. It's a very interesting movie. It deals like with a lot of stuff I feel like you don't see in horror movies, and I think it's great. The second one, Farewell to the Flesh, it's okay. It has like some fun stuff. It's not as good as the first one, but it's okay enough.
Did you like the German remake?
I didn't see it. What's the German remake?
Auf Wiedersehen, Flash. Auf Wiedersehen.
Very good. Let's just move on from that. I watched two things I also really like to watch around this time of year is the Vampire Hunter D movies. That's an anime. It's very Castlevania-like. You have a vampire fighting other vampires, lots of monsters, blood and gore, and great animation. Really love that. I watched Killer Crocodile and Killer Crocodile 2, kind of related to a movie we're going to be doing this week or soon or whenever this comes out. But I mean, not much to them, just giant crocodile movies. It's there's like this toxic waste that makes a crocodile really big, and it eats a bunch of people. And then a sequel, there's another crocodile that eats a bunch of people. It's cheesy, but it's got in a fun way, and some good gore and stuff in those. I watched both Pumpkinhead movies, or well, the first two. I think there's a third one. But Pumpkinhead, another. I don't think we've done that on the show, but I think it's a pretty fun movie, and
I love how
yeah.
the pumpkin head is clearly just a rip off of the xenomorph. Like,
Oh yeah, it's like I think it's like the same people that designed it, or at least like worked on one of the Alien movies,
yeah, I think
and
no, I
then
think Stan Winston's involved who did Aliens, but
yeah,
I
he might have directed it too. I think actually.
I
Uh,
think he did. I think you're right. I think he did. I think that was kind of the big thing about it is that Stan Winston directed a movie. I I mean, I love Lance Henriksen, I do,
mhm.
but I do have to critique that the pumpkin head design in no way reminds me of a
No,
freaking pumpkin.
no, not at all.
That feels like a misstep to me.
Yeah, yeah, because you feel like Halloween pumpkins, kind of synonymous. That it would be just an easy like visual to have like a person with like a pumpkin head or something, but no, it looks absolutely nothing like it, which is weird. But still cool though. I think they're again very cheesy, but they're fun movies. And then yeah, I'm watching the sequel Blood Wings. Actually, I haven't finished it yet. I'm like halfway through, but then some stuff came up. But I'll finish that today. But that's fun so far as well. I also watched a movie called well, the Blu-ray I have is called Hellmaster, but when I play the movie, it's called Them. But it's a John Saxon starring movie.
Oh,
Um,
a classy
and
film.
yeah, it's not bad so far. I should I did finish it, but it wasn't horrible. Again, very cheesy. B movie. I'm not sure if it's 80s or 90s. I want to say 80s, but it could have been maybe early 90s. But some fun kills and stuff in that too. That's about it though for what I've been watching. And then of course, as always, I have the stuff I've been watching for our reviews coming up. But
Yes,
no need to talk about those.
of course, exactly. We could talk about them. I will say, I did watch a movie for the Ace this week for the sci-fi movie podcast that I do with Tara, which is not a horror movie in genre, but was a horrific experience, and that was Wing Commander. So,
Okay.
so look forward to that going up in the next couple. That was actually the patrons who voted for that, the bastards.
Does that have anything to do with George Lucas?
Not that I know of.
I don't know why I associate with him. Was there like a LucasArts game or something?
Maybe
Um,
Mark Hamill was in the video game because it was like an FMV game with actors,
oh, maybe that's probably what I'm thinking of. Okay.
but it wasn't in the movie. The movie's Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
Okay.
So,
Sure. Was
with space physics so bad that even you'd be noticing them, Tim.
anything I don't know about space physics?
No, I don't.
I guess I don't.
No, that wraps us up then. Short and sweet this week. Less news, less movies to talk about. But we'll have one more of these next week. And it's worth reminding you that these go up the same day that our Patreon exclusive episodes go up for our patrons. Wishmaster series, of course, we'll be doing that all month. Every month on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, our patrons get an exclusive episode at the $1 tier and up, which is the lowest tier. So, $1 gets you an exclusive episode every month. But for the Octoberthon, we've done all 4 Wishmasters. So today, Wishmaster 3 is going up for them, and 4 will be up next week. So check that out if you've not already. If you wanted to support us, you can do that over there. $1 means a lot, and you get some exclusive stuff. You get exclusive stuff for other shows too, and then of course you get other stuff at the higher tiers. So go and have a look see. You can also like, subscribe, let us know what you think of the news in the comments. Ding the bell to make sure you get the notifications on YouTube. Rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts 5 stars. Helps them share us out more and recommend us and things like that. But yeah, I guess on Twitter at Screams Midnight as well for some updates and banter and whatever else we do on there. And that's basically it. So join us on Monday as well. Actually, no, that already happened. This is going out on Wednesday. Never mind. If you joined us on Monday for the live stream, Streams After Midnight, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. But yes.
Is there a video version people can watch after the live
Oh
version?
yeah, it'll be there for everyone afterwards. It'll stay there forever.
Oh well. That's
Yeah.
a lot of
So
pressure.
watch what you're saying, Timmy.
Okay.
It's live, and then it'll be there forever and ever and ever and ever. Is that the Sandlot? Is that what I'm quoting right now?
Sure.
I think it's The Sandlot.
Mm.
People, let me know in comments what movie has a kid going forever, for and ever. That's a movie. That's from a movie. Anyway, but that has been our Streams After Midnight News Octoberthon special number 3, or whatever you want to call it, for 2019. Thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching scary movies, guys, and we will see you next time.